Melody Shari just walked out of that courtroom victorious, standing tall and proud, while Martell Holt, well, let's just say things didn't go the way he planned, and the people are talking. Now, for those who have followed the roller coaster that is Melody Shari and Martell Holt's story on Love and Marriage Huntsville, you know this has been a long, messy, emotional battle. From the moment their marriage started to crumble, to the co-parenting drama, to the constant back and forth in court, it's been exhausting to watch. But what just happened recently? Oh, this is a whole different level. Melody Shari just got a major win in court, y'all, a real one. The kind of win that shuts down all the noise, all the rumors, and all the lies that's been floating around. Now let's rewind just a little bit, because to understand how big this win really is, you gotta remember what started all of this. Martell Holt, yes, the same Martell who once stood beside Melody as her husband, business partner, and father to their beautiful kids, decided he wanted to take Melody to court for full custody. Can you imagine that? Full custody. He literally wanted to take those kids away from her completely. This man went from being her partner in life to trying to strip her of the very thing she loves most, her children. He wanted those kids full time. He filed those papers, started the whole custody war, and from that moment on, it was clear. This wasn't about the kids. It was about control, power, and ego. He wanted to hurt her, to break her, to make her feel small after she walked away from him. But see, Melody is built different. She stood tall through every storm, through every lie, through every court date, and through every emotional battle. She walked into that courtroom like the queen she is, calm, confident, and prepared. And y'all, this is where it gets real interesting, because not only did Martell file for full custody, but when it was time to show up and fight the case he started, the man didn't even show up. You heard that right. The same man who dragged this woman into court trying to take her kids didn't even show up to the courtroom when it was time to face the judge. Instead, he decided to hop on a flight to LA for a Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion taping. Can you imagine? The court date had been set since summer, way before that reunion. He knew the date, he knew the time, but he chose TV over his kids. Melody showed up, she did her part, she respected the court, and when Martell decided to skip out, the judge made a ruling that flipped everything upside down. Melody Shari was granted sole primary custody of the children. That's right, sole custody. Martell got secondary custody. Gone are the days of that back and forth 7 days on, 7 days off arrangement. The judge made it clear. Those kids are staying primarily with their mother, and Martell can have his scheduled visitations. Melody walked out of that courtroom victorious, y'all, and the internet went crazy. Now let's be real, this win wasn't just about custody, it was about accountability. Martell had been painting Melody in such a negative light for so long, calling her names, accusing her of being too busy, saying she worked too much. Meanwhile, this woman has been out here grinding, building businesses, making moves, providing for her kids, and staying focused on her purpose. How are you going to say a woman works too much when she's the one making sure your kids are fed, clothed, and happy? Make it make sense. Melody has been doing what mothers do, protecting, providing, and persevering. Martell's argument was weak from the start, and the judge clearly saw that. But just when people thought that was the only courtroom victory Melody had coming, baby, the universe said, hold my tea, because another major legal battle was going down at the same time. The lawsuit from Al, also known as Chef Al. This man had filed a lawsuit against Melody for defamation, emotional distress, all that nonsense. And y'all, the judge looked at that case and said, denied. Case dismissed, just like that. Melody didn't even have to stress over it because the court saw right through it. The judge literally said, nope, not today. Both parties will pay their own legal fees, but the main thing is that lawsuit is gone, dismissed, done. 2 major wins in 1 week. That's not luck, that's divine justice.
And let me tell you something. The people who have been following this story from the very beginning know how much Melody has had to endure. The gaslighting, the rumors, the constant attempts to discredit her. From Martell, from people around him, even from some fans of the show who keep making excuses for him. And I'm sorry, but we gotta say this out loud. There is no excuse for what Martell did. None. He tried to take those kids from their mother out of spite, out of ego, and out of anger because she moved on. That's not love. That's obsession. That's control. That's manipulation. Real love doesn't try to destroy someone just because they found the strength to walk away. And Melody, through it all, has shown grace. She never stooped to his level. She kept quiet when she could have exposed everything. She prayed, she focused, and she trusted that God would handle it. And look at what happened. Victory. Now let's talk about the show for a second. Love and Marriage Huntsville. We've seen Carlos King, the producer, try to balance the drama and the reality. We've seen the cast, Marceau Scott, Tisha Scott, Maurice Scott, Kimmy Scott, all watch this drama unfold in real time. Some tried to stay neutral, others took sides, but deep down, everyone knew that this fight between Melody and Martell had gone too far. Even fans started questioning why Martell was being so relentless. And to make things worse, this man was still out here doing interviews, popping up on social media like nothing was wrong. Meanwhile, Melody was quiet. Until now. Because when that judge's decision dropped, the silence turned into celebration. Her supporters were flooding timelines, Twitter was on fire, and everyone was saying the same thing. Melody Shari won. And she didn't just win for herself. She won for every woman who's been through heartbreak, manipulation, and mistreatment. She won for every mother who's been dragged through court by a bitter ex. She won for every woman who chose peace over pain. And let's not forget, this whole time, Martell's been making excuses. Saying Melody kept the kids from him, saying she's hard to deal with, saying he just wants peace. But peace doesn't look like lawsuits and custody battles. Peace doesn't look like trying to embarrass your children's mother on TV. Peace doesn't look like skipping court to film a reunion show. That's not peace. That's pettiness. And people are finally starting to see it for what it is. Even his supporters can't defend this one. You start a fight and then don't show up? Come on, man. And speaking of not showing up, let's be real. Martell's been missing in more ways than one. Missing from his responsibilities, missing from accountability, and missing from the emotional maturity it takes to co-parent peacefully. Melody, on the other hand, has been showing up every single day for her kids, for her career, for herself. And the beauty of it all? She's doing it with grace. She's not out here dragging him. She's not on live cussing folks out, even though she'd have every right to. She's moving in silence, letting the truth speak for itself. And that's exactly why people respect her so much. But let me tell you, when that judge dismissed Al's lawsuit, baby, the internet lost it. People were cheering, clapping, dropping the laughing emojis everywhere because it was ridiculous from the start. Like seriously, suing people out of hurt feelings? It's giving ego. It's giving embarrassment. And let's not forget, that wasn't the only lawsuit Al had filed. There were multiple ones, including one against content creators. It's like folks were just throwing lawsuits around for attention. But the judge wasn't having it. He said no to all of it. Dismissed, denied, case closed. And that's what happens when you operate from ego instead of truth. Now, y'all, I gotta say this. Melody's win isn't just about legal paperwork. It's about reclaiming her peace. For years, we've watched her fight silently, while Martell kept trying to paint her as the villain. But the truth always comes out. And this time, the truth came out in black and white, signed by a judge. Melody has custody. She has peace. She has her freedom. And the best part? She did it without losing her dignity. You can't buy that kind of strength. You can't fake that kind of victory. And if you think this is the end of the story, oh no, it's not. Because the way things are moving, this is just a brand new chapter for Melody Shari. She's got her businesses booming, her music coming, her family secure, and her peace protected. Martell, on the other hand, might want to take this time to reflect because that mirror is getting real loud right about now. His fans can spin the story however they want, but the truth is right there. He tried to take her children, and he lost. And the fact that he didn't even show up for the fight he started tells you everything you need to know about where his priorities really are.